Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Budget Finance Economic Development Committee. It's now 9:03 a.m. Today is April the 8th, and I'd like to thank everybody for making the time to be here. At this time, I want to say that this meeting is being conducted in accordance with the Sunshine Law. And as a reminder, when your name is called, if you're not in the council chambers, please identify by name who, if anyone, is in the room, vehicle, or workspace with you today. Minors do not need to be identified. This morning, do we have member Kama? Oh, there. All right, Vice Chair Kama, good morning.
Good morning, Chair. Good morning, Chair. Good morning,
Okay. Is she okay? Okay.
Am I okay?
Yeah, you were like singing to us. Okay, good morning. Next we have Member Paulton.
Aloha kakayaka kako.
Aloha. And next we have Member Johnson.
Good morning, Chair. Good morning, council members. There's no testifiers at the Lanai District Office, and I'm alone on my side of the office. Thank you.
Okay, good morning. Member Rollins Fernandez.
Aloha kakahiaka kako. There are currently no testifiers at the Molokai District Office. Mahalo. Happy to be here in person.
Okay, good morning. Next we have Member U Hudgens.
Good morning, Chair. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning. Member Sinensi, good morning.
Aloha kakayaka, Chair. Here at my home office, I'm here by myself, no testifiers in Hana, and as I stated, I'll jump off in a little bit to catch the ferry over.
To Hana.
Thank you.
Okay, or are you going to leave about 10, did you say? 10 o'clock? Yeah, okay. Who is excused is Member Cook as well as Chair Lee. So thank you, everybody, and welcome to the meeting. Today, from the Office of the Mayor, we have Leslie meeting, and we have only one item on the agenda today, which is BFED 1, Proposed Fiscal Year 2026 Budget for the County of Maui. Members, I will be taking testimony after the opening comments from the departments who are with us today. So we're going to continue deliberations on fiscal year 26 budget and hear from Emergency Management Agency and Department of OEV Resources in that order. And then we'll take public testimony and we'll proceed with discussions for the departments in that order. We will adjourn by 1 o'clock today or earlier because we are traveling to Lanai for the residency area meeting, which will convene at 6 o'clock this evening at the ILWU Hall on Lanai. At this time, I'd like to invite the Maui County Emergency Management Administrator, Amos Hewitt, to provide opening remarks and introduce any personnel you have with you today.
Hello, Mike Kako. Today, I'm joined by my second in command, Kono Davis. He's second in command for strategic plan and a 2-year integrated preparedness plan. These documents outline our vision and approach, which require your continued support to execute and implement effectively. I am deeply grateful for the tremendous support you provided in FY25, including your approval of expansion positions within the agency. As we continue to build upon these efforts, I respectfully request your ongoing support to fund the 22 positions proposed in FY25, along with the addition of 3 new positions that are critical to our mission. Additionally, we are requesting funding to support the Reserve Corps, enabling us to recall up to 9 experienced personnel to assist the Emergency Operations Center or in the field throughout Maui Nui. We have also experienced a significant increase in overtime and travel expenses directly related to our efforts to educate, train, certify, and empower our team members to excel in their roles. This investment is necessary to ensure our workforce remains effective and capable of handling emergencies of all scales. With the addition of the Public Information Officer and Community Outreach Specialist and the anticipated addition of the Public Affairs Officer, we are strategically positioning ourselves to enhance public information and education efforts. A key initiative in this regard is the Community Resiliency Workshop, which will be conducted throughout the county. This proactive approach to preparedness will require resources, including educational materials, media projects, digital content, and when necessary, venue rentals. By investing in these efforts, we aim to strengthen community engagement and resilience, fostering a more informed and prepared public. The foundational emergency plans established in FY25, such as the Comprehensive Emergency Management Plan, or SEM, and the Continuity of Operation Plans, or COOP, have laid the groundwork for enhancing our preparedness and response capabilities. Several additional plans were also approved during FY25, forming a robust framework for future operations. However, there is still important work to be done. Moving into FY26, we must continue developing and exercising critical plans to ensure comprehensive readiness. This requires ongoing training through various methodologies, including tabletop exercises, functional exercise, and full-scale exercises. While we have...
Thank you very much. And so at this time, then I'd like to ask the Department of OEV Resources. Thank you very much. And so at this time, then I'd like to ask the Department of OEV Resources to do your presentation.
Hai velina mai ke aloha ia o ko apau, aloha kako. My name is Kapono Ai Molitau. I am the honored person to be able to continue to lead and be the po'o of this department, OEV Resources. This year, this is our first walkthrough for the 2026 budget hearing, and we are very thankful and grateful for this opportunity to open with opening remarks. And the opening remarks are in regards to our platform for this year, and it is in regards to the term kahua. As we know that the kahua is a foundational platform that allows for everything to be built upon if it's done correctly. And so those are part of our core values that we move through this year. With kahua, we'll break it down into those letters real quickly. The K standing for kuleana, where we're committed to upholding and enhancing the rights, responsibilities, and stewardships of OEV Resources. This value informs our policy development, resource management, and leadership approach to ensure accountability and long-term sustainability. The A is for the word a'apo, which means we actively listen and respond to the evolving needs of our community. a'apo guides our stakeholders' engagement strategies, ensuring that our actions are rooted in responsiveness, empathy, and relevance. The H is for ho'omanawanui. We approach our journey with patience and perseverance. This principle reinforces a long-term perspective, supporting resilience in our planning, partnership, and implementation efforts. The U is for the word u'ina. We strive for quick, intelligent, and decisive action. U'ina sharpens our operational agility, enabling us to adapt to emerging challenges and opportunities while maintaining clarity of purpose. And the A is for the word awamu. We carry our kuleana with integrity and intention. Awamu ensures we stay grounded in our commission and our mission, embracing both the privilege and responsibility of our collective work. We look forward to being able to share with all of you our fiscal year 2026 budget proposal. Mahalo nui.
Thank you very much, Department. So at this time, then, I'm going to ask for public testimony. Do we have any testifiers?
Yes, Chair. The first testifier is Lee Anderson, to be followed by Kimo Apana.
Lee Anderson. Hi, welcome.
Thank you so much. Aloha, Chair and members of the council. My name is Lee Anderson. I'm the chef owner at Sugar Beach Events. We're a wedding and event venue in Kihei. I'm also a member of the board of the Maui Wedding and Event Association, which has been newly formed. And I've been here 11 years as Sugar Beach Events, and I've been on Maui for 20 years doing wedding and event catering. Our Maui Wedding and Event Association, despite being less than a year old, represents over 100 members and thousands of employees who are dedicated to revitalizing the industry, the wedding and event industry. We weathered the storm of COVID-19, but the aftermath of the fires has left us in a pretty dire situation. Our industry, once a $1.5 billion industry, yes, billion-dollar industry for Hawaii and Maui is now really struggling. Personally, my business has seen a decline in sales over 70%. I had to let go of 80% of my staff just to stay afloat. This is not just my story. This is everybody's story in the Maui Wedding and Event Association and all of our members. The perception that Maui is not ready to welcome visitors back is a significant barrier. We need your support to change the narrative. Our request for funding is not just about survival, it's about reigniting an industry that fuels so many others. When a wedding or an event takes place, it supports 10 to 20 different businesses directly and countless other businesses indirectly, including hotels, tours, restaurants, local shops, artisans, all the types of businesses owned by Maui residents that bring beauty and support to an event. These are the following ones, which you probably don't even realize. Coordinators, florists, venues, photographers, videographers, musicians, caterers, excuse me, hair and makeup artists, performers, officiants, bar services, decor, furniture, tent rentals, transportation, bakers, photo booths, lighting, sound, calligraphers, sign painters, wedding dress attendants, wedding dress menders and makers, shave ice companies, coconut carvers, sand sculptors. Those are just some of the companies and the business that we represent. These are the type of visitors we want on the island. These wedding events bring in substantial amounts of revenue to so many different companies. We have spent the last year meeting with and asking the many tourism and hospitality agencies for marketing assistance to get the word out. And for some reason, it just hasn't been happening. We need funding to attend conferences on the mainland to represent and promote Maui once again as a premier destination. This pivotal moment for us, with your support, we can build and ensure that the wedding and event industry continues to be a vibrant part of Maui's economy. Thank you for considering our request for funding and for your continued commitment to our community. Mahalo.
Thank you very much. Does anybody have questions for Lee Anderson, Member Paulton?
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Ms. Anderson, for your testimony. I had a couple clarifying questions. You said to attend conferences, but when it was described to us by Ms. Lalo, it was for an industry summit on Maui. Do you know the location that was intended to take place and the time frame?
Yes, so there are a couple of different things that we're working on and things that we had asked for. One is for having an on-island conference, Engage Summit, which is a massive luxury wedding summit that is held internationally. And I have been in contact with the founders of the summit to bring them here. It is a very heavy lift financially, and we need help to do that. They have many people staying.
Where and when?
We're not sure where. We're hoping like the Four Seasons will assist us. We're hoping Wailea area, possibly the West Side. We just have to get all the partners in place, but we have to have the financial in order to really find out if we can make it happen.
How much of your wedding industry would you estimate takes place in West Maui in the summer?
Oh my gosh, it's been so long since we've had such a great season on the West Side. I'm not sure.
So the reason I ask is I'm trying to raise awareness because only it seems the recovery people know, but starting June, they're gonna begin the permanent debris transport, which is like, 50 trucks, round trips a day. And so, I mean, when you're saying we're ready for people to come back, maybe not this summer on the West Side, because probably without knowing it, they also we're having states for canoe regattas, junior lifeguards, 5 of the regattas on the West Side with all that debris transport from sun up to sundown.
Right. I can tell you the Engage Summit we're trying to get to bring to Maui, that's probably going to be early 2027 or late 2026. I know with weddings and events, they usually book a year or 2 years out. So the help we're asking for now, it really won't start to show up in our industry for at least another year.
And then, could there be a portion of that summit that educates the wedding industry about our existing laws? And like, I mean, number of times my kids have been asked to move while shelling because they're in a photo.
100%. Absolutely. Yeah, and I think the one really good and important part of what we do as an association, like I said, we've been around for less than a year now. We have over 100 members, and we're working with some kapuna to really educate our internal team, the board members, all the members are going to go through a little bit of cultural education to make sure we're really aware of what the needs are and what is best for Hawaii and for Maui.
Thank you, Chair.
Yes.
Oh, Member Johnson, you have a question?
Yes, thank you, Chair. Thank you for your testimony. I really appreciate it. I want to clarify some question because the idea that there's a lot of the numbers, the money that comes into the state through weddings is pretty substantial. So have you reached out to some of those, I guess, big movers and shakers within the industry to get funds from those folks who would be benefiting directly from the industry? You know, so I'm curious if you've asked some of those kind of folks for funds.
Yes, sir. I know we have more testimony coming on Wednesday. The president and vice president of our organization will be here. They will probably have a little more information than I do. I'm a board member working with Political Action. We have been to HTA, MHLA, all of the acronyms for the last year asking for help. And somehow that hasn't translated to the council that we've been out there actively asking and really needing help. So now we're here.
I appreciate that. That's part of the process. I surely recommend that. But what about the folks that like the folks who are actually making money off of the weddings? You know, I'm sure the hotels would be, you know, they get financial benefit from these weddings. Well, why aren't they kicking in a little bit of funds? Just a big laundry list of people, like you mentioned in your testimony, that do make money off of weddings. Why are they not coming to the table to kick in funds for this?
That's a very good question. I wish I had an answer for you, but it is a question we have asked over and over. And also keep in mind too, I'm sorry, just to piggyback on that a little bit, all of the businesses that we represent, they're small businesses. We do have some resorts within our association, absolutely. We have DMCs, destination management companies on island, but most of the businesses are small businesses. So at this point, it's hard for us to keep going day by day, let alone give more money and effort and time when we don't have it ourselves.
Yeah, I'm familiar with some small businesses that did quite well off the wedding industry. So hopefully they can, you know, be partners in that. Thanks for your response. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. So I have one question for you.
Yes, ma'am.
Are you getting support from the visitor industry entities?
Financial support?
Yes.
Not as of yet, no, ma'am.
Okay, so you're not getting any help from Maui Visitors Bureau or
none of the
HTA
acronyms have. We had spoken with HTA. I met with Mufi Hanneman last year. We flew over, had a meeting with the whole team there. They were going to include us in some of the California extensions they were doing. That just hasn't come to fruition yet. So we've been out there.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you very
ma'am.
much. Member Rollins Fernandez.
Mahalo, Chair. Aloha. Mahalo for your testimony this morning. In your association's messaging out to promote
Yes, ma'am.
your industry, are you careful to ensure that when you say we, that your we is your association and not all of Maui, saying we are ready for tourists to come back?
Yes. To my knowledge, if you take a look at our webpage, our Instagram, you will see that everything is Maui Wedding and Event Association specific.
Okay, so when you say we, you're careful that you're not trying to speak for the entire island of Maui.
We are not trying to speak for the island.
Okay.
And we are saying we need you. We as an association need you.
Yeah, maybe our association needs you.
Yes.
Or our industry needs you. 'Cause
Yes.
we can be
Absolutely. Yep, I absolutely see that.
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Thank you for your testimony.
Yes, ma'am.
Apologize.
Okay. Anybody else have any questions? Seeing none. Thank you very much for being here.
Thank you. And we do have other people who are coming Wednesday, so I'll make sure and share this information with them as well.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mahalo.
Next testifier, please.
Thank you, Chair. The next testifier is Kimo Apana, to be followed by Kaneali Williams.
Good morning, Budget Chair Yukimura. Nah, it's an inside joke. Our former mayor used to call her all types of names. Anyway, and good morning also, council members. You know, it feels so good to be back home. Yeah. Anyway, I'm here this morning. My name is James Kimoapana. I'm here on behalf of Aimoku Kavika Kamai of the Ward of Kamehameha, Maui, Kahekili chapter. I'm here to ask you for your help so that we may be able to continue our mission to preserve, protect, and promote all things Hawaiian. You might know we have a hale or a building near the harbor. It's called Hale Nanea. Over the years, we have put in tons of sweat equity, leveling the ground, putting in lights, fixing the surroundings. We did all sewer. We did many things. But this past year, our inspector came and said, you know what? It's time you change your entire roof. This patching every now and then will not last. So I'm here today to ask for some help. And I want to say what some of the things why you should consider our requests. The Royal Order is more than just a bunch of people wearing capes marching around. We are here to promote all things Hawaiian, preserve and protect. We have helped in many areas, maybe bringing the students in to learn and understand cooking, especially imu. A lot of young people have never seen it. So we allow them to help us dig the imu, get the rocks, lay it out, everything, so that the next generation is knowledgeable about this tradition, otherwise disappears. We bring in young Hawaiian boys that have a hard time, and we bring them in and try to mentor them. We have chants and dances. We open our hale to hula halaus. We rent it out very inexpensive to the veterans of foreign wars. They have no place to go. So we allow them to use a building for near nothing. Our rental is much, much cheaper than anybody else on this island because it's really expensive for people to have a baby luau. It's very expensive. So we try to accommodate all these things, and how we can do it, we volunteer. We fix the place, we paint the place, we cut the grass, but fixing the roof by ourselves is way beyond our means. Majority of our members are in their 70s. Excuse me. But so we had a few people come in and give us an estimate of what needs to be done, and that is the dollars I'm requesting. It's somewhere in the area of 80,000, but they said, we don't know, you cannot hold us to this price. We don't know if what's under this roof, that there might be a hidden cost, and we're not sure what a price of plyboard will be 2 months from now. So be prepared. Questions?
30 seconds. So you're asking for?
100,000.
Okay. Thank you for the roof. Member Kama has a question, and Member Paulton.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you for being here, Mr. Apana. So it's true that you don't know what's under the roof, but do you think that 100,000 would actually, I mean, I know you're saying it may be 80, but it could be more. And you're just adding another $20,000, hopefully to cover what you don't know that's under the roof, yeah?
Correct.
But do you think that's sufficient? And have you actually had a real roofer go and actually go on top of the roof and walk it and kind of, feel
Yeah. Well,
for that?
we did have several different companies come, and the average is about 80,000. We feel that it should be enough, but if there is any extra, it all returns back to the county. We don't pocket the money. So if you're asking me if you guys should pad it to ensure that it gets done, I would say certainly it's good to be on the safe side. What we don't use, we will return. And I just want to say, especially to you, Tasha, over the years, you have really taken care of us because fortunately we are in your district and you have the heart to support us. So I want to say personally, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, very good. Member Paulton.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Mayor Apana. I just wanted to clarify, you're coming to us with this request, you're not currently in the mayor's budget?
Not that I know of.
And
I think because we didn't get our estimates back from the companies in time. I mean,
and then
whatever reason, we just didn't make the mayor's section.
the other question I had was, you probably know better than me, but we heard a lot about grants and things like that being on a reimbursement basis. Is that something that you're aware of and it would work within your structure?
Yes, I mean, if the county continues their policy, they used to give partial in the beginning because we need to pay the contractors down. So, I mean, how I said, in my time, I'm not sure what the policy is now. If you bought us the 3 phases, we'd give you the initial money because it's just a pass-through to the contractors. We don't touch it, not much.
And you think you would finish within this fiscal year period that we're talking about? Or
Yes.
have you,
Yes.
I don't know,
The
approached?
contractors told me as soon as you're ready to go. Oh, I just want to add one more thing, especially for you, Tasha. You know, it's padded with about 20,000 because the original quote was they take over the hall for 1 month or so. And we requested that they cover the roof daily because we have the hall scheduled to be, I guess, used by the community. And we don't want to call somebody and say, your wedding, done. We're going to fix the roof. So we try to accommodate those that we made commitments to so that no one's life is interrupted by this thing that we really need to do. So they're going to cover it, uncover it, and they told us that's an extra cost. And I understand, but that's what we need to do.
And my other question, I don't know the answer because we haven't asked the Department of OEV Resources yet, but they run some grants through their program. I'm not exactly sure what they're for. And then I see it looks like they have 156,000 in professional services they might not have used. So have you spoken to the Department of OEV? Maybe no need, wait till fiscal year 26?
No, the roof is leaking today.
Yeah.
I mean, we patch it all the time. They said,
So did you speak with them? They might have some monies.
my job is to come here and ask. Your job is to figure out where you guys get it from. And
I mean, if
he is
you
a
ask
member
them
of the
now,
Royal Order.
You might not need to wait till, because this isn't good till June. So if you,
No, we won't be ready to July 1st,
Oh, okay.
right? So we need to submit our request in June to be active July.
Okay.
And we want to do it during the summer months if possible. Less
Okay.
chance of rain.
Got it. Thank you. Thank you,
Yeah.
Chair.
Thank you very much. Anybody else have, former Mayor James Kimo Apana.
I just want to make one comment. It's a lot spookier from here. Thank you very much.
Than when you were sitting here.
Yes.
Nice to see you, Kimo.
Same here.
All right, next testifier.
Thank you, Chair. The next testifier is Kaneali Williams, to be followed by James Langford on Teams.
Aloha kako. My name is Kaneali Williams. I'm here to testify about the Haiku Fire Station project. I only found out this morning that via the news, Maui Now, that it's moving forward. I kind of want to touch on that a little bit because I want to start by saying I'm not anti-fire station, but due diligence has not been done in the process for this project. I am one of the many heirs of Nalopi, Land Commission Award 3336, Royal Patent 2194, in East Kuiaha, where this project is planned to go through our family's Kuleana parcel as part of the larger fire station. We're not the only ohana that's directly impacted by it, but also the U'u family. Their Land Commission Award 4959B is directly next to the fire station plans. For our particular ohana, the water line is planned to come through our property and trace through the road and go all the way back towards Hana Highway. The environmental impact statement was finished, I believe, last summer. We were not contacted until October, the following that time. We were contacted a week before their deadline to finish the Kapakai analysis. We were rushed to do that, but we made it very clear that we were not going to allow that project to come through our land without our consent and without negotiation because it is our property. Sorry, I'm trying to speak calmly and not angrily. Part of the plans was that there is not going to be a monitor for the project, but those lands are culturally sensitive. There's archaeological structures on the lands. There's plenty pohaku and structures, especially on my ohana's land, which I myself had cleared the guinea grass that has been there for many years, starting since 2021. That's how I know an archaeological survey has never been done over there, because nobody was there to uncover the land, to do an archaeological survey. The Kapakai analysis has not been returned to us for review, and that's part of the process of the Kapakai analysis, is that we have to review what was stated and make sure it was truthful, and all the information that goes forward is stated as what we said it was. That included the negotiation, that included that they were to do an archaeological survey. We have not had contact since. We're waiting for that to continue. Like I said, we're not anti-fire station, but the problem is consent. There has not been consent. You can replan the water line to go through Hana Highway. That's up to the project, but we're not going to allow it to come through our land, especially to protect the net worth revenue, or the net worth of all the properties in Haiku, but we don't get a single dollar out of the project. We just get pushed aside as a Kanaka, when the majority of the population in Haiku is not Kanaka. The majority of the population in Haiku has not come to help us on our Aina, to take care of the Aina. But the project wants to come through our Aina for the community. We are the ones constantly asked, where is the aloha? This is a good time for us to ask, where is the aloha? Because we have not received it. My lawyers have been notified about this since the time that we were initially contacted. They're aware of this situation. Some of them work at the federal level. Some of them are listening right now. I just want to put that out. You folks have been put on notice. And that's all I want to say today.
Thank you, Mr. Williams, for being here.
Mahalo.
Anyone have questions? Member Paulton.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Mr. Williams. I just wanted to clarify. So I'm not sure where the fire station on the parcel is meant to be built, but you know where it is, and that portion where it's meant to be built is not on your family's land?
So the building location is, what I understand, is supposed to be owned by the county. That is at the intersection of Hana Highway and East Kuiaha Road. I'm trying to wrap my brain. on the Wailuku side and on the Mauka side of the highway. Immediately Mauka of that parcel is the U'u family's Kuleana parcel, which is very, they're not here to testify, and I cannot speak on behalf of them because I'm not a lineal descendant of the U'u family. But what I do know is that the boundaries are touching, right? And the plan, like I mentioned earlier, stated that it does not need a monitor. I used to work as a cultural monitor for Naikane Maui Inc. for part of the fire cleanups. I know our AINA in East Kuyaha requires a cultural monitor for these projects. And because again, they are culturally sensitive areas, our kupuna live there next to theirs as well. There's potential burials being dug up. So their parcel is right next to the building of the location. Ours is in Mauka of it, but in order for the project building also includes the water corridor that's supposed to come up East Kuyaha Road, down into Haiku Road, and through our Kuleana parcel. And so that's where our ohana comes in.
And to clarify, there are alternate ways the water line could come that wouldn't go through your parcel?
Hana Highway is one option. And then that would also require a whole completely replanning and permitting process, I believe, because the plans are changing completely. So I don't know what that looks like. That's not my job. But, and you know, if the U'u family still doesn't want that fire station, we're still going to support them because we are the ohanas of East Kuyaha. It's our ahupua'a.
And so in the Kapa'akai analysis, have you had any conversation with the fire department?
We haven't had any contact except with, I think it's Kealapono is the contracted for the Kapa'akai. We have not been brought to the table. The only communications was via email with the organization that did the Kapa'akai. And again, we haven't received the final report from them back to review it. So that part of the checklist has not been done either.
Okay, thank you. I do know that the fire department came the other day and said they're not getting the 15 million in federal funds, so that is a factor as well, but thank you.
Okay, mahalo.
Thank you very much. Member Rollins Fernandez.
Mahalo, Chair. Aloha, Mr. William. Mahalo for your testimony. I just looked up the Maui Now article. I'm sorry. Yeah. It doesn't mention the federal funding that wasn't approved on the discussion that we had yesterday. Anyway, in the article, there's a final EA or EIS. So I get it. The final EA didn't include the Kapa'akai analysis that you mentioned.
No, the final EIS, according to that article, was finished in summer 2024.
Yeah.
We were not contacted until October 2024 for the Kapa'akai.
Okay.
So,
and
yeah. And we've been there since 2021. Like, you folks know it, I've shown up a few times to testify and talk about our water rights and things like that. No contact was made for the Kapa'akai since this whole time until October of last year.
Yeah, it says June 20th, 2024. And then as far as the map of your folks, Aina, was that sent to
Yes,
the department?
The maps of the Land Commission Award, the maps, the royal patent title was submitted. Additional maps were provided to give them more context of, for example, a house site that used to be there. And we know that sometimes house sites might be the sites of burials, you know. Our kupuna resided there, you know. And it's very close to where the water pipeline would be. And so that was one of the red flags for us, for being told that a monitor was not required. That major red flag for us.
Mahalo again. Mahalo.
Yeah. Member Hodgins.
I'm going to clarify because you just said my name. I'm not a lineal descendant of the U'uhana, although I do carry that name. It is not mine. And we've talked about this before, which is why he said, you know, they're not here today. I am not able to speak for the U'uhana, but I will definitely let my family know who is actual U'u, so I appreciate you coming today.
Mahalo.
Thank you for the clarification. Made me wonder. Yeah. Okay. Any other questions for the testifier? See none. Thank you very much.
Mahalo nui.
Thank you. Next testifier, please.
Chair, the next testifier is James Langford, to be followed by Janet Six.
Aloha. Aloha.
We can hear you.
Aloha.
We can hear you.
Hello?
Proceed.
Oh, aloha, Chair. Nice to see you. Hi, I would like to testify. Yes, but I'm uncertain what you folks are focused on. Yesterday, there was a request to rewrite Title 19, the code of the planning department. That they suggested it would take a year. I've provided a new charter for the county to work directly with the governor, and I rewrote the Title 19 and all of the code yesterday. It doesn't really take a year to do it, and it's been submitted to the county clerk via email, but I can put it up here for you folks. It would handle things like the UU royal claims. My family is above the UU royal claims, all of them, and so I will speak for them. And Bruce UU and I can come and testify in person to that fact. What I'd like the council to do is to review the rewrite of the charter and review the Title 19. And there are written demands in there as well. It's been submitted to the Attorney General's office, and the governor is very receptive to working with my charter. So what I'm asking is, did you folks receive all that data? I had trouble getting in yesterday. I was being blocked by 2 days ago, blocked by the county clerk's office, apparently, and that's been documented and presented to the Department of Justice for corruption. So is there... were you folks able to get that rewrite requested by Tom Cook and Alice Lee yesterday? I did complete it in entirety. It's about 90 some pages, and it rewrites the entire building code and brings it up to current data.
We do not receive that, so please proceed with your testimony. 3 minutes.
May I So I'm testifying that I've rewritten the system to identify corruption that has led to institutional murder, and I replaced that system in alignment so that none of you are in harm's way from the
Mr.
corruption
Langford,
that happens around.
we're talking about our fiscal 2026 budget. We are not talking about
Yes,
the
ma'am.
charter, or we don't want you to
I
threaten
rewrote
people.
that and submitted a budget request in writing.
Thank you. Anybody
And,
have any questions for the testifier?
I do need to know and have the correspondence replied to, because if your emails and county clerk's office aren't working, then there's no way for people to submit testimony and written testimony formally. So in that case, I directly contacted the governor and the Hawaii Ag office, as I have direct contact to both of them.
Thank you very much. Anybody have questions for the testifier? No. See none. Thank you very much, Mr. Langsford. Next testifier, please.
Okay, see you later.
Thank you, Chair. The next testifier is Janet Six.
Hello, can you folks hear me?
Yes.
Hi, I'm the county archaeologist. I just wanted to provide a little bit of context on the Haiku Fire Station proposed. I had done a site visit a couple years back with then planning long-range planning person Annalise Kohler. Archaeological inventory survey was done in 2010. That is 15 years old, so SHPD may want more information, and there was a documented historic rock wall. So I just wanted to let the testifier know that an AIS was done. If they are uncomfortable with SHPD's determination, they can ask for a redetermination and ask for monitoring, but I just wanted to let them know that an archaeological inventory survey was completed and accepted in 2010. Thank you.
Oh, thank you for, oh, you disappeared. Anybody have questions for the, are you still there, Ms. Six? Yeah, hang on.
I'm here, yeah.
Member Rollins Fernandez has a question for you.
Mahalo, Chair. Aloha, Dr. Six. Mahalo for your testimony. So I see the AIS as Appendix C2 and a cultural impact assessment report on in Appendix D. I'm just looking at all of this for the first time because it was the link was attached to the Maui Now article. So both of those were done in 2010.
And I believe the project has changed. When I did the site visit, it was on behalf of the fire department. They asked me to go. And I know at one point they were going to have a helicopter landing pad, and that's been changed. So if the footprint has changed considerably in the last 15 years, they may want a supplemental AIS testing. Like I said, there was a historic rock wall. I saw some of those pohaku the gentleman was talking about. Again, the footprint on the larger parcel is nominal, and it is where there is already a house. So just wanted to provide some context.
Mahalo, Dr. Six. And the rock wall suggested a housing platform where Ohana would bury their loved ones?
No, I'm going to tell you what it says. It says terrace and retaining wall. Again, I did not do the interpretation. I can just tell you what it says. The site is in fair to good condition. It functions as a retaining wall and a garden terrace. Though the site is constructed in traditional manner, which is dry stacked with salt, it's believed that the feature associated with the current or possible former residents. The age of the site is estimated to be 50 to 60 years old, circa the 1950s. Now, that doesn't mean they didn't take something apart to build it. It does not look burial-ish to me. It does look gardenish, but that doesn't mean, again, what happened in 1950, we don't know, because there was no 6E regulations until 1976. But from my expertise looking at that retaining wall, which was dry stacked, it did look to be more gardenish than burial. But as the gentleman said, whenever you have Kuleana lands, you could have burials. And if they want to revisit and ask SHPD to change a determination to have archaeological monitors there, I would support that. But again, the AIS was done 15 years ago, so SHPD may decide to ask for supplemental testing.
Mahalo, Dr.
Thank you.
Mahalo, Chair.
Thank you very much. Any other questions for the testifier? Seeing none. Thank you very much, Dr. Six. Nice to see you. Next testifier.
You too.
Thank you, Chair. That's all the individuals signed up to testify. If anyone in the audience or on Teams would like to testify, please come up to the podium or raise your hand on Teams. I do see an individual coming down to the podium.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you for working for the County of Maui. Aloha kako, aloha kakahiaka, aloha a kaku. My name is Koinoa J.C. Lau from Waiakoa, Ahupua, Kula Oka. Mahalo, Director Molly Tao and Deputy Director Robinson from the Department of OEV Resources. I heard through a little birdie that you were instructional in translating the budget into Olelo Hawaiian this year, which was the first time in 100 years. So this is indeed a new chapter of the Kingdom of Hawaii. And I saw in the budget that it was, looks like it's a little bit over $1.9 million. And I would like to see a 100% increase in the Department of OEV Resources budget.
Thank you. Anybody have questions for the testifier? Seeing none. All right. Members, with your permission, I'm going to, last call, please. Oh, I see another hand up.
Sure. Apologies. Mr. Langford has already testified for today.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is the last call for oral testimony. Please come up to the podium and raise your hand on Teams if you'd like to testify. The countdown is 3, 2, 1. Seeing none, Chair, no one has indicated that they wish to testify.
Thank you very much. So at this time, with your permission, members like to close public testimony and receive written testimony. Thank you. All right. So we're at bare quorum. So if anybody needs to leave, let me know because we're going to lose quorum. So at this time, then, I'd like to ask questions or have the members ask questions of the department, starting with MEMA. And we'll do a first round of 3 minutes, a second round of 2 minutes. And let's see, their responses are initial letter and responses number 15 in Granicus. And departmental question, we don't have their responses yet, is in 73. So that would be MEMA. Okay.
Chair, if Member Sinensi is still on, I will yield to him so he gets an opportunity before he has to go.
I don't see him. Is Member Sinensi on?
Chair, Councilmember Sinensi no longer appears to be online at this time.
Yeah, he was. He had to catch the ferry.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so Member Paulton, you're first, followed by Johnson, Rollins Fernandez, and then Hodgins.
Okay, my first question, I did not see the administrator position on the salary sheet that we got from the Salary Commission. How is your salary set?
Yeah, I believe that salary sheet reflects all of the appointed positions, and I am under HGA union position, civil service position.
Okay. The next question I have was regarding the emergency funds. You know, we had an itemized list in the aftermath of the fire of how the monies were spent. Do you know the rules and regulations or procedures of how that money can be spent? Like, is there a protocol? Some of the expenses were interesting. So is there a like a standard that's followed on how emergency funds can be spent? Or a protocol?
I think I understand the question. What my experience has been since taking over the agency is related to funds or related to expenditures related to the fire. I would say that there isn't any clear protocols and procedures in the way those funds were spent, which is kind of partly why there's a necessary need for a financial component to MEMA, because recovery costs and all of the actions related to identifying those procedures and managing those procedures for a disaster is complicated. Even with our consultant supporting us in kind of identifying all those costs and qualifying those costs, if you will, still requires clearer procedures, which the solution for me is having a finance chief to assist in building out those procedures.
I mean, okay. Would it, I mean, I'm not sure the answer, but could you work with the auditor right now to build out a procedure or protocol on how and what emergency funds could be used for?
Yes. So.
And was this a part of your to-do list for now and into fiscal year 26?
Yeah, so figuring out the whole financials of the agency related to disaster and recovery costs is involved and complex. Once again, discussing these issues with our consultant who is addressing some of those cost recovery measures I don't have a clear pathway related to how we go about doing that. I need some expertise, some support to, once again, is within this finance chief position to help us lead the efforts. We have consultant, Tetra Tech, working on various plans that kind of touch cost recovery, but not as a, in a collective, complete way.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Member Johnson, followed by Member Hodgins and Kama.
Thank you, Chair. Okay, good morning, everybody. I'll just jump into my very simple question. It's in regards to the U.S. Department of Transportation Special Project Grant, I guess, the planning initiative. It looks like there's a $2.7 million increase. And for the life of me, I don't really understand what the planning initiative would do, doing AI-derived images system. Maybe you can just kind of expand on what that project will be doing.
Yeah, so IMA has partnered, has applied for a Protect grant with the Department of Transportation. It is to analyze the evacuation concerns for West Maui more in detail. They do have additional software to what we have. One of the key partners is NEC from Japan, who has extensive experience in evacuations and disasters. And so we applied for the grant, and we are awaiting award. But it is to support our work in analyzing evacuation routes and evacuation planning countywide. But I believe that particular grant is for West Maui. And that work will support us for the countywide analysis.
All right. Sometimes I like to see the actual things being built or things actually happening. And sometimes software is so expensive. Can you tell me a little bit about any plans in regards to the resiliency hubs? That sounds something like that we could really use if the boats stop running, or tsunamis or anything really terrible happen. Are we ready with the finances to start working on resiliency hubs?
Yeah, so there's 3 models that we are exploring related to community resiliency hubs. We are partnering with Vibrant Hawaii on the Big Island of Hawaii, who has experience with community resiliency hubs. Their model is community-based with no location. Haima has a resiliency center solution, which is a large facility. We're in conversations for 5 of those centers in Maui County. At this point, that's discussion, but it looks like a resiliency center armory size footprint is in discussion. Related to the smaller community resiliency hub footprints, those are still under discussion. I'm not sure if they fit in the bigger picture. We've been doing a lot of community resiliency hub discussions with various partners and entities to find out what actually works. We will partner with East Maui comes to mind, with what those communities actually need versus what the community resiliency model, the hub model, was initially offered. So trying to find our way to what that actually means with all of our communities is still ongoing. I know and receive or support the Haima Resiliency Center, as well as the Vibrant Hawaii model of the building educated and prepared communities. The model in the middle with the smaller footprint is still ongoing.
Okay, thanks for the updates. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. So next we have Member Uhaji. Oh, Member Ramos Hernandez. Sorry about that.
No worries. Mahalo, administrator and team. Okay, so my first two questions are regarding Molokai Lanai. So does the 10,000 grant to VOAD include support services or advocacy for Molokai and Lanai?
Yes. So I've yet to follow up with VOAD. I know they have some organizational challenges, but yes, it would be.
Mahalo. And then would you please update us on the status of the isolated area specialists for Hana, Molokai, Lanai? Where are they housed, and is there sufficient funding for their office space and daily operations?
So the East Maui position has been filled, as well as Lanai, Molokai staff specialist, I believe has accepted the position and starts on May 15. Related to facilities, at this point there's conversations about office spaces and what works and what makes sense for them. Right now, Lanai and East Maui are allowed to work from home. They are equipped with, East Maui is equipped with vehicle and technology to work from home. There are some places that we're looking for to secure nothing concrete yet. Conversations as well on Lanai as well that I need to follow up regarding facility. There are 2 vehicles that have been purchased and ordered, I believe, and funded via Homeland Security grant that will be going to Lanai and Molokai, as well as technology to support them working remotely until we can find long-term solutions for office space.
Mahalo. And then would you share with us the status update on the strategic planning?
Strategic plan?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the strategic plan was submitted last week. And the integrated preparedness plan.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Yeah. To all of us?
To county
Did I get it too?
To the county clerk on Friday, I believe.
I think they wanted me to take that up in my committee when we finish the budget.
Okay, that's why I remember Paul. I was like, oh man, I missed it. Mahalo for that update. I have a question. Chair, are you gonna do 2 rounds?
Second round, 2 minutes. Yep.
Okay. All right. Okay, I'll just start then. My next set of questions are relating to your goals and objectives. I see that they're all new goals and objectives. Would you share with us how those new goals and objectives were developed?
So we utilize, I think, 6 different reports, including MEMA's After Action, FSRI's investigation, 2018 Hurricane Lean, as well as police and fires after actions, as well as a long-term recovery plan for Lahaina that has common themes that drove the development of the goals and objectives, as well as we are following emergency management accreditation program, and they have critical categories that we are also using to organize the strategic plan and the way our agency functions.
Great. I think the new goals and objectives are great. And then I have 2 follow-up questions for round 2. Mahalo, Chair.
Very good. Member Uhajens.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you guys for being with us today. I wanted to talk to you folks about your Genesis stuff because I'm so excited. When we were out at Paia and Makawao, we talked about this soon to come online. So my question is, and really I could have asked fire and police, but you kind of took reign in those meetings as it relates to Genesis. I gather when it hits the fan, you guys run command. So are you guys going to be going out to the other communities and explaining what an evacuation process may look like, how everything should work, like we did in Paia, like we did in Makawao?
Yeah. So we've done different, various community meetings which have done presented the evacuation information like we did for you.
Thank you, by the way.
You're welcome. We are, with our public information folks, 2 out of the 3 public information folks now on board, you'll see a way more involved and engaged MEMA related to public education and public information. So you'll see us way more. And to assist the community in learning about every tool in MEMA. We are developing a community resiliency workshop that is also another educational opportunity for us to go throughout the community and look at community preparedness and resilience in a more detailed way, and really be able to answer the questions that our community need answered. We are expected to, which reflects on the advertisement budget increase, which we're doing. We want to be able to do alerts and warnings videos where people can easily reference all the time, because it is a complicated system.
Yeah.
So to answer your question, yes, we are wanting to, we have been doing presentations. We expect to do more presentations and engage the public in a more detailed way.
Awesome, thank you. And then, can you tell me the difference between a public affairs officer and a community outreach specialist? I know one we don't have the language for just yet, and the EP is for, or expanded position is for community outreach specialist. And they seem like similar but different, and I'm wondering if you can talk to me about the difference.
So the public affairs officer for me basically is the lead of that section, and that person is looking at the general strategy to share information and education across the board. How do we receive and manage community concerns? How do we address even the bigger, broader disaster communications integration? The community outreach specialist is one that focuses on vulnerable populations. There's a lot of work to do there too. There's a lot of different tools, different partners that we don't understand capabilities of yet, and how to interact and engage during disaster. So the community outreach specialist will be busy, and that person is specifically looking at those populations and the tools that help us connect.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much. Next, we have Vice Chair Kama.
Thank you, Chair. So my first question for our director is, in the key activity goals and measures, goal number 2, this is on page 179. It says, strengthen whole community response. There are several measures regarding engaging the public. For the first measurement of the number of community members reached with an estimate of 50,000, how does MEMA intend to achieve that goal?
Yeah, so with the addition of the information education positions, that will allow us to realistically engage the community to upgrade those numbers. We're participating in the 4 bigger events of the year, which includes our Expo this Saturday, as well as the Molokai Resource Fair, Pineapple Festival, and Taro Festival. We also will be participating in the Maui County Fair, as well as we have an event tonight at Kahumanu Shopping Center. We look to continuously get and be a part of and participate in all kinds of outreach programs to ensure that the subscriptions of MEMA alerts and Genesis alerts are increased, and in our social media site as well. Based on the Community Resiliency Hub, Community Resiliency Workshop plan as well, I think reaching 50,000 is definitely reasonable within the next year.
Absolutely. So for the measurement regarding engaged vulnerable populations, who are the identified underserved and at-risk groups? How and where will those outreach activities be conducted?
Yes, so, the underserved reflect ones that don't have adequate access to services, as well as those that have negative outcomes, larger negative outcomes potentially. We are reaching out, we've reached out to various partners, like the Office of Aging, as well as Maui Rapid Response, Holomoe Outreach, and other partners. We're engaged in trying to find solutions on how to support them in an effort to connect before and during and after disaster. Our effort there with our outreach specialists who just began will grow and increase activity-wise. Right now, there's a lot for us to still do.
How do you intend to reach out to those who are disabled in their homes, who don't go to programs where you'd be able to get their attention?
Yeah, hopefully, we identify the partners that would help us to find solutions for that, and then engage with them consistently.
Do you know who the partners would be?
Well, one of the main partners would be Office of Aging regarding disabilities. We're part of a weekly or bi-weekly or bi-monthly task force, and I forget the name, I apologize. I don't know the name of the organization right off the top of my head.
Okay. I heard the bell, Chair. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So I just have a maybe clarification for actually the budget office. The initial question that was asked to you, I think what they were asking is, why wasn't your name or your position on this list that I think that's what you meant, on the salary commission had revisions to a lot of the salaries in the management of the County of Maui, and that your particular position was not listed. So this is, I think, a question for the budget office.
I was just asking because he's tasked with the safety of our county, and it doesn't seem equitable for his roles and responsibilities and his salary compared to the updated salaries. And the updated salaries would allow us to recruit highly qualified people, and in his role as administrator, I believe he's highly qualified, but I think he may be making less than what he could have made if he just retired and stayed home as a battalion chief. And so I think if we want to continue to recruit and retain highly qualified people, that parity needs to occur.
Okay. Thank you for your explanation, but going back to Budget Director.
Thank you, Chair. The Emergency Management Administrator position does not have a salary that is set by the Salary Commission. It is an EM7 position, and I believe in light of the decisions by the Salary Commission, the mayor intends to take a look at the EM positions as well and possibly make some salary changes there. Thank you, Chair.
I see. I guess we'll hear more. Is that what you're saying?
Thank you, Chair. Yes.
Okay. And Director, so we have seen a lot of success of you filling positions in MEMA, and quite effectively. And I wonder if you would like to share what you have done, as most of the departments that come before us talk about the difficulties that they have had with filling positions. And you've had probably both sides, but I've seen you act pretty quickly. So what is your experience that you can share?
Try, and try again.
Oh.
I would say that I attempt to understand the perspective of DPS. And in that, I want to be able to, follow their procedure regarding classifications, position descriptions, and minimum qualifications. I think they have a narrow perspective or have not realized that the agency and the profession has evolved. It's my job as an administrator to provide that information to them to align additional careers that make up emergency management that maybe was not previously understood as part of emergency management. I provide recommendations on how, what skill sets that would be transferable into emergency management, as well as recommendation to include operational experience versus administrative experience only. That was a kind of a big problem as well. We kind of, like the information section, they would try and qualify based on staff specialist emergency management experience when the skill set is not necessary emergency management. The skill set is communications. And so we engage in those conversations to understand exactly what we're who we're trying to staff, with what qualifications and what skill sets. And, we keep meeting often.
Exactly.
And that's how.
Okay, interesting, right? You have figured out how to work kind of with the system and around the system. And I just wonder, we kind of hear something very similar, maybe not as effective as you have described. And you make me wonder, how do we revamp our whole system with Department of Personnel Services? Because I think if you would have just been like a lot of the other departments, you would have been stuck. And you wouldn't have the number of people that you have hired as of today. Okay, so that's another side conversation that I would like to have with you. You have your function that you have great, in the elevator, you also have a poster that you're having on April the 12th. And I got an email from a person who said, what if they can't attend that? Do you have alternate ways of reaching the community?
I believe that email was related to Genesis as well, yeah. That one, yeah.
Yeah, it was.
So I responded to that email, and that person can definitely contact me. I did provide initial instructions to his question. We're going to be out in the public, but to his question, his or her question, I'm sorry, we can directly address that over the phone.
Okay, so there's other ways that people can communicate regarding Genesis.
Yeah.
Besides going to that function.
Exactly
Okay.
right.
That's it for me. Now we go for round two. Member Paulton and Member Johnson, Member Rollins Fernandez, and then Member Ulu Hodgins.
Thank you. I'm not sure if this is for the budget director or for the administrator, but I was wondering if we could get an updated copy of budget details 6.3 through 6.5. In Workday, there's at least 8 positions filled or have bodies in them that are not reflected in the budget details. So it's weird looking at outdated information to go forward. And then I heard you working with HIEMA and Vibrant Hawaii, but the resiliency hubs are money for Maui County is under the office of the mayor. Is that the correct place if you're working with Vibrant Hawaii and HIEMA? I didn't hear you mention that you're working with the office of the mayor.
I'm sorry. I am as well. I know that the community resiliency hubs kind of project before I became the administrator was with OED. And so I am working with OED, Josh Cooper specifically on the understanding and implementation of community resiliency hubs.
Does it make sense for the money to be under the mayor or under you folks? And then if resiliency hubs become a physical location in the remote locations, could that be a physical location for the staff to be stationed at? In all districts actually, but Hanalana'i, Molokai.
So the OED model.
OED is basically non-functional. They don't have a leader. The leader is doing 3 jobs, not one of which is.
Well, that model of community resiliency hub would not suffice for a staff specialist location. You know, the idea of the community resiliency hub in that model is for the community to gather. The footprint is small. The footprint is uncomfortable. Is the community actually going to come to the containers, 40-foot containers, to meet in the middle of a parking lot?
So
Probably
it
not.
seems like maybe we should put it under yours because that's a wrong model.
Well, we're engaging with them to find out how we do it, and I am not sure exactly how to do it. Once again, that's kind of why we're engaging these different partners who have done it. And
they're kind of a leaderless agency that's prone to political shifting, whereas you're hired, not political, and specialize in emergency management. So it seems like the resiliency hub is in the hand of amateurs right now.
well, I'm open to it.
Main team, you're open. Thank you. I heard the bill. I got a couple more questions, but I'll yield.
Okay, oh, interesting. Member Johnson, followed by Member Rollins Fernandez.
Thank you, Chair. My questions have been answered, and I just appreciate everything the department's been doing. Thank you.
Member Rollins Fernandez, followed by Member Hodgins and Kama.
Mahalo, Chair. Okay, so the rest of my questions are related to the goals and objectives. For Goal 2, Objective 1, number of community members reached through public awareness campaigns and educational resources. Estimating 50,000 for this next fiscal year. Can you share with us how you plan to measure or count that 50,000?
So we do have a way to measure the subscribers of MEMA alerts, and currently the number is somewhere around 22,000. And so we are confirming that we can do that with Genesis Protect as well. And so we'll be able to, after educational campaigns are delivered, we check those numbers and we monitor the increase. That's one of the ways.
Okay. All right, and one of the 22,000. Goal 2, Objective 4, engage vulnerable populations, number of outreach activities conducted for underserved and at-risk groups. So kind of dovetailing off of what Member Kama was asking about, as you likely know, news articles after the LA fire show that they also suffered from not having adequate evacuation preparedness for seniors and folks with disabilities. I looked through the goals and objectives and I didn't see anything a little more tangible to give NEMA and the county a way to measure, like if it's being improved. I mean, other than like outreach activities. So like maybe under Goal 4, enhance public information alerts and warning systems, if there was like a specific one for like seniors and folks with disabilities, or like specifically targeting that group that we know need the most help.
Thank you for that. So I think all of our efforts to include measurables and activities that show progress is related to people in position. So right now we have ideas. We kind of know partners are over there. We kind of say, yeah, we'll do that, and we'll do that too. But really, for us to really be able to engage effectively and actually do anything of real value, it's related to having people really finding out the solutions. People offer us solutions and ideas, and at this point, there are solutions and there are ideas versus actual tangible actions which is why I push so hard on the staffing side, because I cannot engage or do anything of value for our community if I don't have people. It's going to be stuck in as an idea, and that's just not good enough. And that's why push hard with DPS, and hopefully we'll be making quick progress because we have at least 2 positions filled, and one being the community outreach specialist that will engage the populations and hopefully have something tangible the next time we talk.
Mahalo, Chief. Mahalo, Chief.
Thank you. Member U Hodgins.
Thank you. I'm going to pick up off my last line of questioning. Some of the issues I heard from the temporary administrator before you was that he had difficulties getting information out to the public. It would have to go through so many hoops. It would go through them and then the mayor's office and then maybe hopefully out to the community eventually. With your hiring of your own community outreach specialist and public officer information person, are we hoping to skip some of that steps and we can have the important information immediately? This was actually in response to Kula's water issue back in the day post-fire.
That's a great question. So I have not experienced any kind of delay in information sharing. To my knowledge, if I'm hearing your question correctly, when we activate, if we're talking about activation, when we activate, county communications comes in, and we align messaging in our alerts and warnings with them, and we marry the messages. With our public information officer in the agency now, that would just provide an additional layer of effort and work related to aligning the message. At some point in time, if it is deemed necessary, MIMO potentially would be handling all of the messaging. That's in the works with county comms, and whatever makes sense is to get accurate, consistent messaging out in a timely manner. Whatever way that is accomplished is what we would be pursuing.
Okay.
Yeah.
I hope so.
Yes.
I like that answer. Thank you. That's all for me.
Thank you. Member Kama.
Chair, I have no other questions. Thank you.
Okay. So I just, on personnel, I'm going to talk to you after, because what you're describing is you figured out how to work around the system, and with success, right? And we have a big problem. I just want to say we have a really big problem for the County of Maui. Not only you, but with every department that comes before us and the challenges that we face with personnel. So I have no further questions. You just added to my frustration of the reality of where we are and how serious our problems are. The last round of questions, and I'm going to take a recess. I think Member Paulton, you had a question? 2 minutes? You have one question for 1 minute?
Yeah, one of them was answered, I think, under Member Rollins-Fernandez, but glad to see that the alerts are a goal and that, you know, we have 160,000, we can only go up population, but plenty times during emergencies, the cell phone goes out. So what is plan B? And I might have had some other questions on the written about the sirens and all of that, but I didn't get those answers yet.
Yeah, hasn't come.
So let me try and swing for this one. So related to alerts and warnings, all of the tools to include EAS, WIA, Public Siren, MIMO Alerts, Genesis Protect, they all have limitations. Because of power disruptions, cell service disruptions, all of them have a limitation. That's why they all work together to overcome any one of the disruptions. The main component that we're really trying to bolster now is the radio, our radio broadcast piece. We're meeting with partners, our radio stations there are 20 plus radio stations that receive EAS. Those radio stations are on our MIMO page now. We're looking to support a primary broadcast partner with potentially supporting their stations with alternate power, which allow them to run radio broadcast for us 24/7 and overcome the disruption as well. We're looking at various grants to support generators for our primary partner. but the radio station would be that key piece that we've been missing, and we are trying to improve.
If I can just make a comment, I'm a
Harry Kim.
Harry Kim. This is Harry Kim from Hawaii County Civil Defense. You know, it was just standard after even every monthly test. And so, you know, it's not about a tsunami siren. It really is an all-hazard siren. And the siren is just to get you to turn on the radio. Yeah. And last time the siren sounded in Lahaina and we turned on the radio, there was Hawaiian music playing. So we got a lot of ground to cover, but, you know, Hawaii has plenty emergencies regularly with the volcano and things like that. So just more, I guess, practice. But, you know, the way he would talk on the radio, whatever it was the issue, he was just super monotone, like the dry eyes guy. And I think that was helpful, you know, like we came to rely on that, like, oh, sirens, turn on the radio, what Harry Kim going to tell us, you know? So if we can get Maui to that same level, I don't know if Hawaii County is still doing it since I left. I think they get Magno or something, but that was one thing he did really well. I mean, he did a lot, but that was one thing.
Bless his soul, yeah. Yeah. Okay, anybody else have any questions? Member Rollins Fernandez.
Mahalo, Chair. I don't know if our chief can achieve that monotonous tone, but you can try, Chief. I think I just have two questions, and I think we'll discuss them more in DRIP committee. Goal 3, Objective 3, average time to mobilize and deploy critical response resources during emergencies is 4 hours is what you're estimating for FY26. My question is, what is best management? And do you know why it's taking time to fill the public affairs officer? And then serious question, are you preparing for the mayor's regatta? Because what?
They're not hosting this year to get by.
Oh, okay. Well, that gives you a year and a half to practice, because we're gonna win.
Yes. I forgot the question.
Sorry.
We are training.
Okay, that's the correct answer. Average time taken to mobilize and deploy critical services, 4 hours with best management, and then public affairs officer.
Public affairs officer, let me attack that one real quick. I don't believe that there's a public affairs officer title in the county and state, to my knowledge. That's what was told to me. So, however, there is a community engagement officer that comes from Hawaii Civil Defense, and so the position description is the same. So I said, can we just use the community engagement position description that is already classified in civil defense from Hawaii County? And I don't have an answer yet. To relate to the 4-hour timeline, those are estimations based on, working as a volunteer after the fire, being part of the fire department, and what is a reasonable goal to be able to establish critical resources, mobilize critical logistical resources to support maybe a pod. It's an estimation at this point. Some of those services will be provided quicker than 4 hours, but just to give my team something to look at and go, okay, that's what we're gonna achieve to do, is what that is.
Mahalo. Mahalo, Chair.
Okay, very good. Member Hodgins, do you have any further questions?
I do not. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Okay, Member Kama, you have any further questions?
No, Chair, I do not. Thank you.
Okay, so I do not. Probably the one thing that you will have to share with me is that how you're able to fill all these positions without going through you were trying to go through with, with personnel services. So you have a comment, then I'm going to close this and move on to the next department.
Did you say you want me to comment?
Yeah, if you can, share.
Once again, we have regular meetings with them. I mean, so it's just really holding them accountable to our agreements. We're setting monthly agreements, weekly agreements to address each situation on a timeline. And I also did fill positions via the State Workforce Development Program as well as the internship with Maui College and West Oahu. I do have an intern working with us from West Oahu right now. I do have an intern that came from Maui College that now is funded through the State Workforce Program. But I guess the advice would be that you have to keep pushing. You cannot let it go.
Okay. No further questions. Members, with your permission, I'm going to thank the Department of Emergency Management and ask for OEV Resource to come up next. Thank you very much. And so I'm going to have a 10-minute recess, okay? So let's go 10:40, what is it? 10:41, so 10:46, we will be back. I'm sorry, 10:56. 10:56. Let's go. Okay. Welcome back to the Budget Finance Economic Development Committee. Members, we now have the OEV Resource Department before us. We have some members who must leave, so I'm going to guess that we have one round of questions for 3 minutes, and we are going to be done, I think, unless if members want to have more. But so at this time, I'd like to start off with Member Rollins Fernandez.
Mahalo, Chair. We had Aloha Department, Aloha Director, Deputy Director, and team. We did have a lot of discussion in committee. But I guess just to expound on a couple things, for the $250,000 for storyboard, would you please explain what the storyboard is here in this context?
Aloha Mei, Member Rollins Fernandez. Good morning, Kako. Aloha kakayaka. So from what I understand is the storyboard is for the area of Moku'ula, Mokuhinia, in reference to making sure that we can get started on developing the entire storyboard of the history of that space. And so that was what the funding is allocated for.
And what is a storyboard for the public?
Oh, okay, Kalame.
What does it look like?
The historical context of the Aina Mokuhinia, Moku'ula, and the surrounding parcels of the what we call the Lahaina Cultural Corridor, which is it's being coined as. And so it would be a series of mo'olelo boards that would be in and around that particular vicinity.
Okay, so it'll be like physical storyboards,
It'll be
and
physical.
also digital on the website?
Yeah, I believe we could develop it any way which allows for our public to have access to. So physical storyboards on site, as well as actual abilities to access it via the internet or via QR code reader, etc.
So the 250 is for the like contracting professional services to do this, or like is it like the software or?
I believe it would be twofold. It would be contracting services out to be able to put together that, as well as I'm sure or certain that there are storyboard softwares that are available for us to look at.
Okay, mahalo. And then in the explanation of external factors on page 577, is there a space to include place-based community partnership for collaboration before local, state, and federal agency collaboration and cooperation?
Kalame, can you repeat the question again?
In the explanation of external factors on page 577, is there, in the program budget, is there a space to include place-based community partnership for collaboration before local, state, and federal agency collaboration and cooperation?
Is there a space to include local partnerships between state and federal?
Yeah, community partnership.
Yes, there is space for that.
Okay, mahalo. And then in the explanation of external factors, same. The department only makes reference to preserving and protecting the destruction of culturally sensitive sites from the August 8th, 2023 wildfires. Is it safe to say that the department's main focus will be centralized around the August 8 fires? What makes the destruction of the culturally sensitive sites of the fires priority over other culturally sensitive sites across Maui County that have been destroyed?
That is a great question. I do believe when we're talking in regards to Lahaina Central, that entire area from library all the way up to Moku'ula, Mokuhinia, there are a lot of different cultural sensitive spaces that need to be referenced in regards to places like Kamehameha Third, Pakala, up and down that particular vicinity, the shoreline. When we're looking at also the Moku'ula, Mokuhinia space, because it is one of those areas that have been EO'd over to to the mayor's office and also now over to the Department of OEV Resources. That will be part of our main focus going into fiscal year 2026 to develop that future storyboard, also to develop the working area in and around it of what that cultural kuleana will look like. Does that exempt any other spaces? No. When we're talking about cultural spaces of significance, we're also looking at all of Maui Nui, not only Lahaina in general, but also Molokai, Lanai as well.
Mahalo for that response, Director. Mahalo, Chair.
Thank you. Next, we have then Member Hodgins, followed by Member Paulton.
Thank you, Chair. Do you want to go with me or Member Johnson? Me? Oh, we're down this line. He's, okay, sorry. I was all thrown off.
I was going
I'm happy
to
to
go
go.
this way.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
Sorry, Member Johnson.
I forgot he sits before her. For whatever reason, it's throwing me all off. Thank you so much for being with us today. I wanted to talk to you folks about your materials and supplies for the funding of the construction of the Iwi Kupuna Vault and Burial Site. Do we have a location picked out for this place? Not that you have to share it, but
Currently,
Yes or no?
yes, for the areas of Kaulahau, for the areas of Hamakupoko, for the areas of those sites in general, I could just say yes, there are sites that are picked out for them. I think one of the interesting factors when we're talking about supplies, we gotta wait because vault systems take a while to develop, and because of the need of concrete.
Okay.
And so that's where we're at currently.
okay, concrete is super expensive right now. Is $40,000 sufficient to do multiple sites?
I'm not quite sure because I'm not, but that's what we budgeted for. We will probably have to look at what that total is going into this particular year. We do know that, again, we have 2 that are finished and we have 2 more that have been requested. So hopefully those 2 are within the current budget. And then the other 2, I'm not sure exactly what it's going to cost.
Okay, okay. And then I just really have one more question. So I see you have an expansion position for a Chief Hawaiian Cultural Specialist. Are you not that? In my opinion, you are exactly that.
Mahalo, mahalo.
Is it
when
just
we-
too much to do director and that?
When we're looking at the entirety of the Department of OEV and we look at when we do division out, we're going to look at 3 particular pieces of this particular department. So it's going to be the administrative department, our Kipuka, and then one more, our Kumuwaiola department. And those departments are going to be led by a particular po'o. So when we're thinking about chief cultural specialist, that is the person that will be able to lead not only the Olelo Hawaii components, but also lead all the cultural components with Kumu's oversight as well, to be able to oversee all of the kuleana that is at hand. And as we know, just over the course of the 8-9 months that we've been around, this department is quite busy and quite integrated with our community in regards to caring for our Iwi Kupuna, in regards to caring for our Lahaina Aina, going over to areas of Molokai, as well as reaching out to Lanai very shortly. And then also knowing that Hana is part of that, and then thinking about the future of what Kalawau might look like. All of those kuleana takes more than just kumu. Yeah.
Thank you so much. And I know we're only going to do one round, so I wanted to thank you so much also for all your help and donating or sharing Ms. Six's time with me and helping to Firewise and Fire Protect Paia Town. I appreciate your guys' help so much. Thank you.
Mahalo nui.
Thank you, Chair. I'm done.
Thank you very much. So Member Kama left the meeting. We're now at bare quorum. We're not going to be making any decisions, so we'll go around to Member Paulton. Yeah. Member
Thank you, Chair. I guess my first question in professional services, it seems 165,000 is left over from the strategic planning. Could we encumber that now for phase 2 or utilize it for roofing, Halinanea, or are there already plans?
Mahalo nui. I'm going to go ahead and turn that question over to Budget and Finance.
Mahalo, Chair. Mahalo, Councilmember Pelton. Yes, during the recess, I had a chance to talk with the Department of OEV Resources. They're currently in the competitive process right now for their grant funds. So applications for that are due by April 25th. Awards will be made in early May. And if they receive applications that are above what's currently allocated for grants, they can use some of those professional services funds for that as well. So they could apply for the roof for that.
That flows right into my next question. Where on do people go to apply for the grants?
So on the Maui County website at oevgrants.com, C-O-M? Yes, OEV Grants. You can go ahead. There is a video webinar, also the application, and also instructions on how to apply for the grant.
And would somebody be reaching out to former Mayor Apana to submit an application? Does it have to be, if he's ready July 1st, could it be encumbered or awarded and then work out that way?
Yeah, thank you, Member Polton. In the space of Kimo Apana being here, our secretary did receive his contact info for him and Ali Nui.
Next question on the storyboard. Some folks were speaking with me and they did a presentation on virtual reality. Is that going to be a component of Moku'ula Local Mokuhinia touring?
That's new to me, virtual reality, mana'o, but I don't believe that it should be out of the question. I think any and all opportunities of sharing the mo'olelo, mokuhinia, moku'ula, as well as the cultural compound of Lahaina, whether it be via that particular medium or others.
And do you guys, for what the testifier earlier about the Haiku fire station, would you guys be able to, if the cultural monitor or archaeological folks, would you be able to assist to make sure that, I mean, it seems kind of weird that the Kapa'akai analysis happened after the EA was finished. I don't know exactly the order of it, but are you guys able to coordinate with the fire department and just make sure that we're adhering to the goals and the priorities of you guys' department in relationship to the fire station?
All right, mahalo for the question. I would say that having Dr. Janet Six on our staff, as well as our field archaeologists on staff, allows for that particular response time to be a little bit quicker. I do believe that it also allows for the conversation to happen not only with the fire department, but also with our community. So noting that Dr. Janet Six has already heard, I'm sure she's probably figuring out ways to be able to reach out.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have Member Johnson.
Thank you, Chair. Good morning, Director, Deputy Director, and everybody who's joined us. Really appreciate you coming. I know you're very busy. My question is in regards specifically to the 12 months funding for the grant coordinator. Really curious if maybe you could explain what they'll be doing, the reaching for grants. I really want to kind of hone in on, will they be working with other departments within the county? But if you want to just give us an overview of the proposed grant coordinator.
Hi, aloha. Mahalo nui for the question, Member Johnson. Yes, currently our grant coordinator is and has been reaching out to other grant coordinators in the departments of Maui County. Currently our grant coordinator is also administering this particular grant opportunity that is being done now. And so we've just had our first webinar last week, Friday, I believe. And out of that, we'll see how many actual folks actually apply for this upcoming grant that's available through the Department of OEV. Also, the current grant coordinator is also submitting on behalf of the Department of OEV different grant funding resources that will help, defer some of our costs and requests moving forward. Is there more to that question?
It's amazing.
Yeah, she's quite amazing.
Go ahead, there's more.
No, I was just saying that she's amazingly, makes me look really good.
Well, a good grant writer is worth their weight in gold, I always say, because they, really help us move the pots around and, make it, make other revenues, other grants. It's so important. So, okay, I just wanted to see, kind of the update on it, and it sounds like there's movement in it, and that's wonderful, and I support you.
Are you done?
There are no further questions.
Okay, very good. Real fast then, speaking of grants, the grants that you've applied for, are any of them federally funded that are in jeopardy of possibly not getting awarded, or did you already hear?
Mahalo nui, Chair. No, they're not.
Okay. So even if it's National Park Service, you're not in jeopardy for those, even if it sounds federal funded-ish. All right, so members, anybody else have any more questions? If not, I'll thank the department. Member Paulton?
In the expansion positions, has the position description already been created and minimum qualifications?
Yes, position descriptions have been created. We're very happy to note that we're completely full staff right now, and it took us a little under a year to get there, and the request for these particular 6 to fill for next fiscal year is something that we're really looking forward to.
And then in one of your responses, you mentioned like we're already having 2 interns and there's 1 Hawaiian language specialist position and all of that. Does it make sense to stagger the funding? Because I think the chief one and maybe one of the archaeological ones you said would be a harder to fill position. So does it make sense to have some like maybe 10, 8 and whatever? And if it does, if you could provide that response in writing so that we can plan appropriately.
Okay, we'll get that response out to you. Yeah, I know that we have some more discussions within our own department, and we can get that out to you this week.
And so if the position description and minimum qualification is already created, does it need a reorg, or has it already been turned over to personnel services and the ball is in their court, so to speak?
Okay, Kai?
Mahalo, thank you. So we have all of our positions are aligned with civil service jobs that exist in the county system. We just are working very closely with DPS to go ahead and adjust those so that they are appropriate for our department. There are, I think, 2 positions that require pretty extensive work with DPS, which is the chief of Hawaiian the Hawaiian cultural specialist, and the archaeologist and the archaeological cultural monitor. And so that's a new hybrid position that is more like an intern's position. So what we're concerned about is making sure that the county has both archaeological coverage into the future and cultural coverage, and that when they work together, culture and archaeology, that there is a synergy that is created that is more than the base parts there. So that's kind of where we're at, but we are working closely with DPS. So we also already have some of those folks that are excited to be in those positions and have been reaching out to us. And I think I would credit that to being an exciting new department that the community is standing behind and coming forward to inquire about what's available. So.
And then in your experience in working with personnel services, as the ball is in either the department's court or personnel's court, is there a time frame for personnel services when it's in their court for them to get back to you by? Or is it a constant, like, are you done yet? Are you done yet? Are we there yet? Or is there a deadline? Like, we have 120 days to do such and such or whatever. Is there anything like that?
Yes, the discussion is always ongoing. We are very open to the communication of requesting things in a timely manner. However, we know that sometimes in order to go fast, you gotta kind of go slow.
One moment. Okay.
That would be the answer.
I better stop so Member Rollins Fernandez can leave.
Okay. I'm going to thank you very much, Department, for being here, and I'm going to adjourn this meeting so Member Rollins Fernandez can leave. All right. Thank you very much for your participation and waiting for us all morning. And members, thank you for being here. This meeting is now, I'm going to defer the item, and this meeting is now adjourned.
Mahalo.